lo and behold, we're back at it again. Now, I'm not going to play the Kill Bill siren like I had to last time, given what happened before. But that last one we had, Crown Jewel 2019, wasn't actually too bad. Sans a couple hiccups, basically. That being Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez, in which they knew that Cain was injured, and yet they still did the match anyways, like a bunch of fools. And then Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman, which I'm not even going to go there. But that last show wasn't actually too bad. But here, I don't like what they're doing here. Normally they save these type of Saudi shows like after WrestleMania. Not throw one on the road to WrestleMania. It's throwing us all for a loop here, quite frankly, because we still have AEW Revolution this Saturday at the time of recording, Wednesday, February 26, 2020. And then not to mention, the week after this here, or I want to say the week, yeah, or almost not, wait, no, not quite, but on the horizon soon is Elimination Chamber. But we're going to cross that when we get to this here, apparently. I'm Coffee Lover 239, and with me, as always, is Heathy. Say hi, Heathy.
Heck, this looks like an absolute car crash of a show.
Maybe, there's a chance, but then again, maybe not, and it's good to have you back on here, because this is actually the first predictions podcast you've been on where it's back from the Saudi shows, because the last one you were actually on was the infamous one that I personally named the worst WWE show of 2018, and just one of the worst ones in general. You know what I mean. Anyway, so without further ado, let's actually go ahead and get into the show. Our first match on the card is The New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E versus John Morrison and The Miz for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So after WWE announced that John Morrison, who last wrestled in 2011 in the WWE, had re-signed with the company, Morrison made his first appearance on the January 3rd episode of SmackDown in a brief backstage interview coming out of the Miz's locker room. The two formally reunited the following week during a segment of Miz TV, in which Morrison criticized the fans for turning on Miz the previous week after he attacked Kofi Kingston following his match. Miz and Morrison then began feuding with SmackDown Tag Team Champions The New Day, in which Morrison would defeat Kingston and Big E on the next two episodes, respectively. On the January 31st episode, Miz and Morrison defeated Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker, Lucha House Party, Grand Metalik Lindsay Dorado, and The Revival, Scott Dawson Dash Wilder, in a fatal four-way tag team match, but not really fatal four-way as I call it, to earn a championship match against The New Day at Super Showdown. Now, The New Day pretty much have had an iron grip on the SmackDown Tag Team Championships for a good while now, actually. And in fact, it's really all they've kind of been. It's like they're front and center, which I get why on one hand, but on the other hand, it's really just crippling the damn division, quite frankly. So much so that we're having to bring back an old tag team that actually hadn't been a tag team in quite some time, actually. Yeah, about, 9 years or so? And then we get Morrison back. Truth be told, Miz and Morrison could be doing excellent things on their own, and this really seems like a side filler feud, honestly, because the division is so weak, and, well, basically, some of the teams I want to get pushed aren't exactly getting pushed. Heavy Machinery, oh, not until they get back into the mix, but Otis still has that storyline going on. Oh, poor Otis after what happened that day. And then The Revival, but they're just AEW bound at this point. I don't know what else to say. So, Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
Like you said, this feels like a side feud. It feels like WWE just wanted to spin the wheels, on WrestleMania season. And as we know, they do like to skimp on the less big feuds like Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, and Super Showdown in order to accommodate to the bigger storylines getting built for WrestleMania season. With the case with tag team matches, especially last year, was the fact that we were heading into a direction of multi-man tag matches. We had that with the SmackDown and Raw tag titles last year, I believe. I believe, especially with we did have it with the women's tag titles. I feel like the tag division is so weak that in order to make a tag title match meaningful at Mania, we're gonna have to put a lot of teams together. And you know, which team on the SmackDown tag division has the most momentum right now? The Miz and Morrison. So why not give them a tag title shot? And even though that it feels like just sort of a placeholder match to build put us over until March time, head into the real feuds at WrestleMania. I don't know. I mean, if there's ever going to be a tag, if there's ever going to be not a tag title, if there's ever going to be a title match at Super Showdown that ends up in new champions being crowned, this could be it. I mean, the New Day, let's face it, they always are entertaining, but this month has been a bit stale, and dare I say it, been pretty forgettable. Maybe that's down to Xavier Woods not being active.
That's probably not really helping much at all, quite
only,
frankly. I sorely miss his presence.
Exactly, 2/3 of the New Day's force is much weaker than having full force, all three members, full fat New Day. So, I know, I mean, if you want to rebuild an aging, basic, boring SmackDown tag division, you've got to spice up a little bit. What's the best way to do that? You have to change the champions, give it a bit of a different dynamic. So, I mean, they've been teasing Usos, New Day. They've also been teasing Usos, Miss Morrison a bit. And if Miss Morrison loses this match, it's almost, from a logical storyline booking sort of sense, nothing else seems logical other than an Usos versus New Day feud, and we've seen that a million times over.
So much so.
Exactly. How about we make this a triple threat ideal at Mania? Have Miss Morrison involved, and you're not going to have them involved if they lose on Thursday. So I say, and this is my prediction, and I'm probably going to kick myself in the teeth here, but I think it's going to be the Miz and Morrison to become new tag champs. That's what I'm going with.
I've often felt that way about some other matches with my own prediction, but looking at this, it is a good idea you propose there, but I'm not sure they would actually be giving them more credit than they probably deserve, because they still have that solid grip, like I said, and they're like, oh, well, apparently it's still somewhat working, because this is just a side thing. We're not actually going to give a shit about the tag division at the moment, so why bother doing it now?
Exactly. No. I mean, here's the thing, and just an observation for me. I feel like New Day is a safe option in which if WWE look at the tag division and they say, oh, this division isn't working, it needs some time to restructure itself, New Day are a safe option to just hold the titles and carry it through the title period.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at their last reign, and it's been like 110 plus days. They won the belts on the, what was it, on the November 8th, 2019 episode of SmackDown. It was that was in Manchester. Yeah, and I don't know. It could be, though. But I don't know. If there would be a title change, it would have to be on like a grander scale per se. So it's possible, but in order to protect Miz and Morrison, if need be, there could be some chicanery shenanigans. I'm not really sure. I'm not counting on that, to be honest. But I'm probably more than likely there could be if they wanted to go in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ends up happening. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go with the New Day. That iron grip is, it's strong. Oh boy, our next match. If only this were the Ricochet from NXT, then I would actually give a damn. But it's not. It's main roster Ricochet. Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet for the WWE Championship. I'm still getting over the cough here quite a bit. Maybe it's just allergies. I don't know. Anyway, on the January 20th episode of Raw, WWE Champion Brock Lesnar declared himself as the first entrant in the men's Royal Rumble match, as he felt that no one was worthy of challenging for him for the title, which is code word for we couldn't be bothered to build up a feud for this, so you're not getting a WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble. which would have been a little disappointing for me since I was there in person, but the actual Rumble show itself was good, so I can forgive that, except a couple other things I can't forgive, but that's not here or now. Anyways, at the Royal Rumble, Lesnar pretty much most of us on ease who were there in person by dominating the first half of the Royal Rumble match until Ricochet entered as the 15th entrant. In response to what Lesnar did to him on Raw, Ricochet attacked Lesnar from behind with a low blow. Oh, wait a second. Did I forget something? I forgot a whole piece of text. Oops. I forgot to mention that Ricochet interrupted and declared he was not afraid to fight Lesnar and asked Lesnar if he was scared to fight him. Lesnar took him to Dick Kick City and said he was not scared. And then at the Royal Rumble, he dominated half the field until Ricochet came in, and he decided Ricochet, in response to what Lesnar did to him on Raw, attacked Brock from behind with a low blow, which allowed eventual winner Drew McIntyre to eliminate him with a Claymore kick. And on the February 3rd episode of Raw, Ricochet defeated Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match to earn a WWE Championship opportunity against Lesnar at Super Showdown. And can I just say, what is it with this company trying to avoid Brock versus Bobby at every fucking chance they get? I mean, look at this match. This match is really a side throwaway because, well, Drew and Brock seem like a dead set lock for a Mania. And I know that match is going to have so much anticipation going into it, quite frankly. At least do something that'll make it seem like a throwaway match, or make it not seem like a throwaway match. I can't even properly talk with this madness. Now, like I said, if this were the Ricochet from NXT, that would be something. Unfortunately, Ricochet's main roster run is kind of just stalled out and moving in circles. He only really had one small reign with the U.S. title that lasted about 21 days. And then, now this. I want to say, I hope the match itself is decent enough because Brock can work better with smaller opponents. But at the same time, this hasn't really been built up in a way like AJ and Brock, or say Daniel Bryan and Brock, or even Finn Balor and Brock. Just... I don't know. Who do you think's gonna win?
Well, I'm looking at this match, and I know there's a lot of controversy. Not really not against Ricochet by any means, but just the booking of this match.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was a lawyer defending WWE, I would call upon legal precedent here because if we go back to say April 2018, Shinsuke Nakamura kicks AJ Styles in the nuts, and he got a WWE Championship match a month later. I think he got a few after that.
Oh, there's a good point. Even though that feud completely went by the wayside.
So if we're looking at precedent of that, WWE are well within their rights to have Ricochet earn this title opportunity. If you want a title opportunity in WWE, just kick the guy in the nuts, the champion, kick him in the nuts. You've got your title match. Congratulations. As far as who's going to win this match, I think it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, the most intriguing question I can put forth right now is how is Ricochet going to escape and evade Brock Lesnar? How is he going to counter the F5? Because, I think I'd like it for Ricochet to kick out of at least one F5 to make him seem a bit credible and not destroy his momentum he's built recently with this mini feud with the OC the last few weeks. But, I think with WWE, it's going to be one F5 and he's done. So all I'm thinking is how is he going to flip out from an F5? Is he going to do a backflip off his shoulders? Is he going to once Brock Lesnar throws him off his shoulders, he's going to land on his shoulders and do a backflip off there? I'm just thinking... That
would be insane.
Yeah, I know, but it's Ricochet. Insane, it's not in his vocabulary. Insane is a synonym for normal for him, so... synonym. I can talk, can't I? Anyway, who I think's going to win? I'm just kind of trying to prolong this because I think we both know who's going to walk out of champion, walk out of the Super Showdown champion. And it's obviously Ricochet. No, it's going to be Drew No, it's not even going to be Drew McIntyre. It's going to be Brock Lesnar.
We still have a little ways before Drew can walk out with the belt,
I mean, just put a Seth Rollins from WrestleMania 31, just cash in his Royal Rumble opportunity
That's
on
not
that
how
night.
that works, unfortunately.
I mean, it's Saudi Arabia. WWE. I feel like I feel like every time we enter Saudi Arabia, we're also entering the space-time continuum, and we're also getting thrown out at the same time. And it also feels like it's Tuesdays and July, and it feels like it's never. It's just a weird timeline.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm not gonna prolong this any longer. I think it is gonna be Brock Lesnar in a matter of minutes. Gonna walk out with the title. He's gonna beat Ricochet, no problem.
You say a matter of minutes. JD says 8 seconds because of what happened with Kofi Kingston. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's obviously Brock Lesnar. There's no chance in hell. Okay, maybe not exactly no chance in hell, but it's very slim that Ricochet would win and not have chicanery involved. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure more than likely it's going to be Brock Lesnar. And old Brocky Brock better get a cup because to protect his Lesnar's, because AJ Styles didn't learn that lesson and just kept getting low blowed over and over again by Shinsuke when that mess of a feud was going down. So who's to say some poor bastard doesn't do the same here to Brock and ever? So yeah, going with Brock on this one. Hey everybody, have you had enough of this feud yet? No? Well, take it! Here you fucking go! That's such good shit! Oh, go away, Vince. Excuse me. Oh god, it's Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a steel cage match. Cue the Scott Hall gif. I can't be bothered to throw it up on the screen right now, but I digress. Anyways, so at the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns defeated King Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Both also competed in the Royal Rumble match, but were thankfully unsuccessful. Reigns and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, then defeated Corbin and his cronies, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, on the following SmackDown in a 6-man tag team match in which the loser ate dog food. Loser ate dog food, code word for Roman Reigns and the Usos did to Corbin what Corbin and his cronies did to Usos all those way back in that damn segment that I swear to God has given me legitimate PTSD, and I cannot fucking watch that thing. And I'm dead serious, too. Like, when they were doing the entrances for the Falls Count Anywhere match at the Rumble, and they showed that fucking snippet of Roman Reigns getting covered in dog food on the Titantron, I genuinely had to turn away. I'm like, oh God, I cannot watch that. I couldn't even watch it when it was Roman getting Corbin and, fuck it. Ugh. And then the following week, Corbin stated that he should have won all those matches. You lie! And that he would have won the ones against Reigns if it had not been for the Usos' interference. He then demanded one more match with Reigns, who came out and attacked Corbin, who managed to escape. Afterwards, Reigns accepted as a challenge as a steel cage match, which was scheduled for Super Showdown. I don't even care that it's a fucking steel cage at this point. I really don't. If anything, we were talking a little bit about this before we hit record, but the fact is, the main issue I feel with Corbin is that all his feuds, a lot of them just drag on and on through the muck, and it's so slow. It's almost like we're moving in circles. It's like that fucking one episode of Supernatural where like Sam keeps waking up, but like every damn day is Tuesday. It's like we're just drag it through the muck. I've had it with this fucking feud. Between all the dog food crap that has happened, between just the long, tiring Corbin always having to get some kind of mid-card vortex going here, his mid-card of evil. And then he even mentioned this, that he was literally like the fucking gatekeeper, quite frankly, like the new Ziggler. And to just keep this shit going with even more immature bullshit on SmackDown, after all this nonsense that Fox wants a goddamn more sports-oriented show, and this is the type of shitty goddamn feud that they give them, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Take it from here.
I mean, to quote Sam Winchester, yesterday was Tuesday, right? But today is Tuesday too, and it feels like it's always yesterday, and it's always today, and it's always tomorrow with Baron Corbin. He is the gatekeeper. But then again, I mean, maybe that's WWE showing trust in Corbin as the guy who's a safe bet. And that's not necessarily wrong, but it is when WWE's booking is just piss poor from start to finish, especially in the feuds that they don't really put much thought into. I mean, they're doing good in Raw. SmackDown, maybe there's one or two. I mean, the Otis stuff's okay. The Fiend stuff's, I think, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, stuff like this on the lower mid card, not really that interested. But as far as Reigns Corbin goes, Coffee Lover, if I was to give you one chance to pick a chant that fully emphasizes this feud, do you know which chant I go with?
What?
Fight forever.
Oh god, that's what it feels like.
I know, and it's in a literal sense too. It feels like they are fighting forever. I mean, I remember when we were documenting the Royal Rumble match between Corbin and Reigns in that Falls Anywhere match. I really didn't care it was Falls Anywhere. I thought it was a bit of hope for that match, but at the same time, when I was thinking about that, I thought back then, almost a month back, this feud has gone for way too damn long, and we are a month later we are still at that same position we were then, and it's not gotten any more. It hasn't got any less painful than it did there. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of hearsay about who's going to be facing Reigns at Mania. You know, going from the Fiend at the start to potentially Goldberg, hell, even to Cena. I mean, there's a lot of options on the table for Reigns, and thankfully, thank the Lord, one of them is not Baron Corbin. King Corbin is doing something else at Mania, whether he wins the Battle Royal, whether he has like a tag feud with Ziggler and the Revival, I don't care. He's not with Reigns, and I thank the Lord every day for that. So that only means one thing: if Reigns is going to a high-profile feud, and Corbin's who gives a fuck at this point, I think it's going to be Reigns. Got to be Reigns. Fuck that. Oh god, I have flashbacks to Reigns, Lesnar, and that steel cage, that steel goddamn cage. Both of his feet didn't hit the floor.
No,
okay.
like Roman's feet hit the floor first somehow, and yet Brock still won. That was an absolute mess. And I wonder if they're gonna try and do something like that again, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, I wonder if they're that stupid to try and do that again. They better have practiced that beforehand, or else I'm going to laugh at their fucking faces if this blows up again. Or maybe actually Roman will fucking pull it off again, and it will actually make sense, because there's no title on the line. There's no title. Yeah. There's no nothing. It's just a plain-ass steel cage.
It's a grudge match. And last year, I didn't hate anything more. I couldn't believe I hated a piece of steel mesh than I did right then for being the crux for the storyline continuing. So, I mean, why the hell would you continue this storyline? We condone swearing on here. I think it's just to let our emotions out. And I am one for puns, so I think this is absolute dog shit that this feud's still continuing. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns to win.
I feel physically drained by this, man. Like, I'm not even joking. I feel physically, honest to God, drained. Just the thought of this feud has drained my soul. Just the thought of this feud has drained my energy. Oh, yeah.
God, you're getting a cough of it too, man. Jesus, it's taking you ill.
Relax. I ain't dead yet. Like Ric Flair always said. I don't know. I was dealing with a cold a while back, and I think I'm still kind of getting over a little bit of it, but I ain't dead yet. I'm still going. I think we all know what's gonna happen here, because Roman always wins. Oh, wait, that's Raw. He's on SmackDown. Who gives a fuck? Clearly, it's Roman who's more than likely going to win, quite frankly. And one last thing I want to mention, is that the funny thing is, on that friggin' Loser Eats Dog Food episode, that shit was actually rumored to happen a couple weeks later than it was anticipated. Because it happened on the 31st episode of SmackDown. And then 2 weeks later would have been Valentine's Day. I would have actually still followed through on my completely do something different podcast thing on my Twitch. Just do something, now for something completely different in the words of Monty Python. Except they did it earlier. I'm like, oh, you're sharing me the trouble 2 weeks earlier. Wonderful. Oh, whatever. I still got to do what I wanted to do that day and play my game that I got that week. So, it's all good. It all worked out in the end. So, yeah, Roman always wins. Next. Oh, wonderful, 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 wonderful. It's the Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship. So on the February 7th episode of SmackDown, WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg was interviewed from his home via satellite. He stated that after watching the Royal Rumble, it made him want to get back in the ring. His last match was at SummerSlam in August 2019, with his old rival Brock Lesnar tied up with Ricochet and Drew McIntyre over the WWE Championship. Goldberg turned his attention to the Universal Championship as he never received a rematch for the title after losing it to Lesnar back at WrestleMania 33 in 2017. Hey, Billy Boy, you should have done it when you had the chance. And for the record, if that even does happen, if the unthinkable does, you owe a certain someone. Oh, wait, he's on Raw. God damn it. That's not gonna. You know what? Just screw it. Don't win the damn title. Damn it. Oh, I'm getting ahead. I can't help it. Just. This has me on edge a little bit. This match. This thing. After Universal Champion Bray Wyatt interrupted Goldberg with a special news version of the Firefly Funhouse, Goldberg challenged Wyatt's alter ego, The Fiend, for a Universal Championship, and Wyatt said The Fiend accepted. The match was then scheduled for Super Showdown. It's painfully obvious that Goldberg just wants more of some of that, sweet Saudi money. Well, Solo Monster has this dubbed as Sweet Saudi Money, 5 Staying Alive. I have this dubbed as Sweet Saudi Money 5, the Saudis who shagged the fans. And then maybe the case depending on how this match goes. Now, The Fiend is back on track despite you-know-what. Yeah, that was bad. But now we're at a similar crossroad. Because guess what? Younger star with Universal Championship against Goldberg, receiving a match. Okay, I guess I don't know if I want to quite call this out of nowhere because it was a little bit, but at the same time, no qualifying match. But then again, just, I don't even think I need to mention what happened 3 years ago. But with what happened with Kevin Owens losing as quick as he did, yeah, that kind of has me on the edge for this. Because they're thinking, oh, what'll be the bigger stinking marquee match for Mania? We throw Goldberg and Reigns in with the goddamn title, or just have them go on their own? Actually, I say neither to those. And yeah, I don't know, really. As long as they actually keep the match short, unlike what happened with Goldberg's last match at Super Showdown last year, which the less said about that, the better, I think we'll be okay, and hopefully The Fiend still retains. And please keep the red light away, will ya? It was actually nice to have to see The Fiend in person and not have to deal with the red light. One of our members here actually did go to Hell in his Cell on that infamous you-know-what happened. And let me assure you, that red light, he assured me that red light is not fun to deal with in person. Especially when it's, you know, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, first of all, I believe the last match Fiend had was with Daniel Bryan, and there was no red light, so we have hope for that. As far as Goldberg having a short match goes, I hope that's the case. I don't have the accurate statistic here, but I'm pretty sure that Goldberg hasn't wrestled over half an hour since he's returned back in 2016, which is pretty. No, yeah, it was pretty damning evidence for how's this guy's stamina. I mean, the fact that I know Goldberg's gimmick is that he, it's a jackhammer spear, you're done. Bray Wyatt's gimmick is that, oh, you can give me whatever finish you want, I won't be done. It's it's definite. It's weird because when you think of dream matches and you think of mismatches and also dream matches, like these oddly fit. You have Bray Wyatt and Goldberg. I think that's the biggest mismatch that's also a dream match at the same time. I mean, one guy's gimmick is that I'm going to edge you so quickly. The other guy's gimmick is that give me all you've got. I'm not dying. So it on one hand, WWE have booked themselves into a corner here. On the other hand, it's just made for a really intriguing introspect into what they're actually going to do here. I mean, seriously, this match is getting a lot of eyes on it because we don't know if, like we mentioned before, we didn't know the main event of WrestleMania. Like
Well,
about
didn't
two.
they already say that it was Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar was actually going to close out the
Oh,
show?
we know Vince. It's going to be. From what I think we know, it's going to be Reigns and Wyatt.
If
Two
that
weeks
even
ago.
happens, truth
Yeah,
be
yeah,
told,
exactly.
I need to mention this. The SmackDown side of things for WrestleMania isn't exactly all set in stone, and we're not actually farther off from than I think some people even realize. Like, it comes
A
around the
month and a
corner and
half.
just. Yeah, exactly. Continue.
Yeah, so we've got a month and a half left. We still don't know the SmackDown main event of WrestleMania. I mean, 2 weeks ago, if you would have asked me, I would have said, yeah, Reigns and Wyatt, and you probably would have agreed with me. But now we're looking at Reigns versus Wyatt. Yeah, okay. We're looking at Reigns versus Goldberg. Okay. We're looking at Cena versus Wyatt. We're looking at Cena versus Goldberg. And Cena hasn't even shown up on SmackDown. So, this raw speculation right now, we don't even know what's happening in a few days when SmackDown rolls around.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
that's when
John
we
Cena will
finally
be
answer.
there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a, it's a lottery right now. Everyone's drawn their numbers. We're gonna find out in a few days, but we don't know for sure right now. So who I think's gonna win? I mean, I would have loved to have Wyatt and Goldberg interact more. I think the fact that Wyatt is just a supernatural being, Goldberg's this icon from the '90s who's managed to survive all these years. It will make a really intriguing storyline if they were given more time. It's like if Cena and Punk were not only had like 3 interactions in 2011, it would just not be
It
right.
wouldn't have the same impact that it did at that year's Money
Exact,
in the Bank.
and we wouldn't be lording over it 9 years later. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this isn't really a long-term return for Goldberg. I mean, if it was like 5 years ago that he wrestled for the last time, I would have been a bit more concerned. And I know that there's this ESPN deal with WWE to stream WrestleMania on the net on there.
Potentially, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
final, but it has me a
no
little bit worried.
exactly so up in the air, and I don't think I would take it off the network. But that's beside the point. Maybe 5 years ago, if Goldberg was not wrestling all these years ago, that it would not be a thing. If he wasn't wrestling between 2016 and 2018. But anyway, I don't think they're willing to, not bury per se, but just put down the mystique of Bray Wyatt's Fiend character just yet. Because I feel like if Bray is to lose as the Fiend cannot be seen for quite some time. And I want to keep him around for Mania season. I mean, if you lose the Fiend, I mean, his whole gimmick is that he's unbeatable. He's just ethereal demons who cannot be beaten no matter what you throw at him. So if you were to beat him, he really can't exist in the timeline that he's existing in now. He would have to go away for like a few months at least to rebuild, and I don't think that would be beneficial to WWE financially during WrestleMania season. I'm looking at this from a financial slash marketing perspective because I am a marketing student, breaking kayfabe here, but that's what I am, and I try and see this from all angles. So I mean, I'm not saying my heart says Goldberg because fucking hell, I do not want Goldberg to win the Universal title in 2020. That's absolutely asinine.
Ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with my heart and my head, and I go with three. I base this on 3 things: my heart, my head, and my fence. And my fence wants Goldberg. My heart, my head will overrule that just for now. And I'm going to go with The Fiend to win against my better judgment. But he better win. For God's sake, he better win, man.
The Fiend is practically, they've done so much of trying to fix The Fiend after what happened, and we don't need yet another goddamn event to actually torpedo this shit. Ironically, they fix it in the one country where nothing can seem to go right or whatever. I can't even get the wording out right at times, but I'm going to go with The Fiend as well. Quite frankly, if you're going to keep this mystique going, there's no reason to have Goldberg beat him. I mean, he may get in a spear, but The Fiend, whoosh, right back up like nothing ever happened. So, yeah, I'm going to go with The Fiend Bray Wyatt on this one as well. Our next match is AJ Styles versus Andrade Cien Almas versus Bobby Lashley versus Eric Rowan versus R-Truth versus Rey Mysterio in a gauntlet match for the Two-Wake Trophy. Now, what the hell is a two-wake, you ask? Well, it's the Jabal two-wake is a narrow escarpment, and an escarpment's a steep slope or a long cliff that forms as a result of faulting or erosion and separates two relatively level areas having different elevations. And that is basically what runs through the plateau of Najd in Central Arabia. Everybody got that? Yes? No? Maybe? Well, whatever. It doesn't matter too much. Anyway, so on the February 10th episode, a gauntlet match for the first ever two-wake trophy was scheduled for Super Showdown. AJ Styles, Andrade, Bobby Lashley, Eric Rowan, R-Truth, and Rusev were announced for the match. Rusev, however, was removed from the match, and Rey Mysterio was announced as his replacement for the February 24th episode of Raw. So, or on the February 24th episode of Raw. So, yeah. The thing with Rusev, though, being removed, well, the thing is, though, like, the storyline is citing back injury, but in reality, there's some contract disputes, and they could be using this replacement as a scare tactic to try to get him to re-sign another 5-year deal. Yeah, like, he'd be a fool to do that, quite frankly, be locked down in a company that wasted his potential. So, and even if he was still in, I don't even think he's really gonna win. Truth be told, there have been rumors going around that AJ Styles and Undertaker are going to have a match at WrestleMania, considering that Taker sees him as this generation's Shawn Michaels. And, well, AJ's in this match, so what better way for AJ to kick this feud off of sorts than to win, call out the dead man, and he's rumored to actually appear at the show, not wrestle, but appear in some way, shape, or form. What do you bet they have some interaction here should AJ Styles win the match? Heaty, who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, you know, if I was part of WWE's marketing team, which, by the way, hire me, I'm so damn good, I would look at, you know, what they're marketing it as, the prestige of this trophy, what it means for the country or the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But then again, if we think about all the other tournaments that were held in this, all the trophies in this sort of venue, you know, in Saudi Arabia, you know, we've had Shane McMahon be named the best in the world.
Oh God, don't remind me.
We've had the OC named the best tag team in the world.
Yeesh.
So, and what credibility can that lead to? I mean, what really? I mean, the best it's been is both has been mentioned in the past, and then there's been a trophy being on 1 or 2 SmackDowns. There's really not much. I feel like it's a crux to a different storyline. I feel like whoever wins that trophy is just getting dragged into a different storyline. I don't think a trophy actually means anything except character development. So, and like you said, The Undertaker being earmarked for a feud with AJ Styles at WrestleMania. And there was rumours that The Undertaker, spoiler alert, has been seen around an airport with other WWE superstars, you know, bought and going to Saudi Arabia. So I'm thinking right now, is that what we're going to see? Are we going to see Undertaker come out of Saudi Arabia, Super Showdown, taunt AJ Styles after AJ Styles wins the two-wake gauntlet trophy or whatever it's called? What's it called? Yeah, it's the two-wake trophy. Gauntlet match. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the two-wake trophy gauntlet trophy, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see anyone else winning. Rey Mysterio, Andrade, nah. He's
Not
in
really.
the thing with. He's going to be in the trouble. He's going to be a fatal four with Humberto, Garza, and Mysterio at Mania. That's what I think for the
Mhm.
US title.
Probably
Bobby
makes
Lashley.
sense.
Bobby Lashley, nah, he's probably going to still do something with Rusev because WWE still latch onto that story. I don't know why.
Implying that they're still going to even keep Rusev on TV
Uh,
regarding what I mentioned as well, the whole contract dispute.
yeah, that's going to be that's still in up in the air, but he'll stay. But they're going to make him suffer for even breathing the idea of that. Our
Shit.
truth. Our truth, I think he may go the distance. I would love to see our truth have a serious run before he retires. He's a great competitor and he can still go. He's a 48-year-old, but he moves around like a 28-year-old, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Love that for him. Yeah, I mean, as far as the actual trophy goes, who gives a crap? It's not going to really mean anything in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a crux for the WrestleMania storyline, like you mentioned, the Undertaker. So yeah, I'm going to go with AJ Styles to win.
I'm going with AJ Styles as well for the same reasons. There's no really delving in further on into this. And I would have said this gauntlet match would have taken up most of the time on the card, but they added 3 more matches. So maybe it's a good thing our recording session was actually delayed to literally the day before Super Showdown, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to talk about these last 3 matches. But whatever, the gauntlet match will probably still take a good amount of time up. Anyways, let's go to the next match. Our next match is Bayley versus Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So at the Royal Rumble, during the Women's Royal Rumble match, Naomi made a surprise return following a 6-month hiatus. While later on the show, and by later on the show, I mean literally the match after the Women's Royal Rumble match, Bayley retained the SmackDown Women's Championship against Lacey Evans. On the following SmackDown, Bayley claimed that she had beaten every woman on the roster. Naomi interrupted, taking exception to the claim, as Bayley had never beaten her. The following week, Naomi participated in a fatal 4-way match to determine Bayley's next opponent, which was won by Carmella? Yeah, who faced Bayley for the title on the February 14th episode. However, Bayley retained after using the ropes as leverage to pin Carmella. After the match, both Carmella and Naomi attacked Bayley, and then the two that attacked Bayley had a match scheduled for the following week that Naomi won, thus earning her a title match against Bayley at Super Showdown, marking the second women's match to be held in Saudi Arabia and the first to be contested for a championship. So yeah, it was crazy. I know, but in a good way. Last time we had a women's match, and now we're getting another one for the, despite all the madness. And championship too, to add a little extra Anyway, so looking at this storyline, I'm kind of shocked that they're doing this now and not at WrestleMania on one hand, but on the other hand, there's rumors going around that Naomi may reunite with Cameron and Brodus Clay and Funkadactyls back together and the old Funkasaurus. Ugh. Ooh, that was something, I'll tell you that much. Because don't need Brodus Clay coming around here and beating the life out of me. Anyway. But yeah, I'm kind of shocked they're doing this a little earlier on one hand, but if that thing that actually does happen on the other, then I guess it wouldn't be. But then again, that leaves us with a gap afterwards of what exactly would Bayley do. I'm not even sure. I'm sure the match itself will be good, but I'm more concerned about after. Heath, who do you think's gonna win?
I think this is genuinely the case of WWE just shooting their shot way too early with this. They're just really shooting the load on this way too early. I mean, if you really could have done Bayley versus Naomi at WrestleMania 36, no really batting eyelids. I mean, some people do feel like Naomi is kind of over, oh, what's the word? I think Naomi is not overrated per se, but I feel like some people perceive her that way, and I don't think she is. I think she's a great competitor. But yeah, even so, I think if she were to have that women's title opportunity against Bayley, I don't think many would have a problem with it. It will be a good match. It will be a worthy WrestleMania match. So it confuses me a bit why they would have the Bailey versus Naomi in Saudi Arabia at Super Showdown. As far as the first women's title defense at Saudi Arabia, I don't think whoever's sanctioning this, whoever whether it's the Saudi government, whoever's really in talks with WWE right now, I don't think they would really care about if it's a women's title match. I think they care if it's a women's match. So I see this as just a second women's match. I don't see this as the first women's title match. Away from the controversial stuff, who's the thing's going to win? Well, Naomi, I don't think she should go into WrestleMania as champ. She's not been here for a cup of coffee. She's not been here for 10 minutes. She's still a great competitor, but I don't think it's warranted, Bailey dropping her title right now. There's been rumors that it will be Bailey versus Sasha.
If Sasha's even comes back, because she's still out on the injury reserve list, and she's going to be doing some filming stuff for The Mandalorian as well, so yeah.
I mean, if Samoa Joe's an indication, just keep away from some tables, he'll be fine, hopefully. So, yeah. I mean, if you don't have Sasha, who does it be? I mean,
get away from this a bit. I don't know, really.
I mean, Carmella, we've beaten her. Sasha's not available if we're going off the precedent.
Well, I've got the whole personnel roster here, and I'll run through them. Alexa Bliss, nah, no chance. Had her enough. Been there, done that. Carmella, nah. Dana Brooke, not yet. Ember Moon, she's still out on the injury reserve list. Lacey Evans, been there, done that already. Mandy Rose still has that storyline deal with Otis and Dolph Ziggler. Mickey James, she's mostly just been doing color commentary on Main Event and is taking a producer role. Is she even quietly retired? I don't know. I have to look. Let's see. Nikki Cross, not until until they stop pairing together. Oh, blah, whatever. We mentioned Sasha on the injury reserve list. Sonya Deville, they're not gonna build up much, and Tamina, no chance.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of them, I'm thinking Nikki Cross. I mean,
that'd be
throughout
nice.
the summer, she was a fan favorite. She was white hot.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we've been talking about who's Bailey gonna face at WrestleMania, I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion right now. I mean, we're talking about competitors for Bailey. We're not even mentioning Naomi in this, so I think we should just go without saying right now. We both think that Bailey's going to come out on top here. So that's my prediction. Bailey's going to beat Naomi.
I'm going to agree with you there on that. I don't see it going any other way. Bailey will retain her belt, and then, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But God forbid if it's in the Elimination Chamber. Well, here's a filler tag team match for ya. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford for the Raw Tag Team Championship. So, on the February 17th episode of Raw, after Kevin Owens and the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, defeated Buddy Murphy and the authors of Pain, Akam and Razor via disqualification due to Seth Rollins' interference, the Street Profits came out and aided Owens and the Raiders by attacking Murphy and Akam and Razor while Rollins retained. Later, Rollins and Murphy were scheduled to defend the Raw Tag Team Championship against the Street Profits at Super Showdown. Oh, and in regards to Rollins being the so-called Monday Night Messiah, I've just got one thing to say to that.
Oh, now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now go away.
I never get tired of that clip. Anyway, so back to this match. Yeah, this is kind of a... This is really a filler one, for if I ever did see one. I mean, but this problem here, though, the main thing that's irking me is two singles wrestlers. Yes, they're in one stable together, but you have a legitimate tag team in AOP in that fucking stable, and they're not holding the belts? What a damn waste, honest to God. You could use, I'm not your buddy guy, Murphy, in the mid-card scene, and actually we still cool off on Rollins. Just Oh, whatever. Or maybe not. I don't know. This company just... Whoosh. But anyways, I'm really not too invested in this match. And Rollins and Murphy's reign has just... It doesn't even feel like that long ago. But yeah, it still is relatively recent. And the Street Profits, well, they haven't really been doing much on Raw. Again, stalled out, moving in circles. What else can I say? Who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, for one, I'm happy that Street Profits are being not used on weird backstage segments like this weird Daily Show knockoff, and they're actually being used as wrestlers who wrestle, which is a nice change of pace for their careers. Because I feel like they were stagnating otherwise. As far as the match goes, I don't know. I mean, I do know. It's just how to word this.
Yeah.
It feels like this weird thing that's been going on with Rollins and his disciples against Owens, Joe, Murphy. Not Murphy. Murphy's on the other team. Owens, Joe, and the Viking Raiders. And it feels like the Street Profits are just there as extra backup, and it feels like they're holding off until Mania, where I think they're going to do a triple threat tag if, of course, Joe's suspension will expire on
it should
March
wrap
24th.
up. It should wrap up by then. I mean, it was already.
He'll be ready.
Monday.
I mean,
yeah, he'll be ready.
Owens is the major focal point between him and Rollins. I don't think Joe has really got that much of a singles beef with Rollins. He's got a beef with, Ika Mazar, Murphy, and Rollins, but he's not really centered on the Messiah himself, on that Messiah. That's more of Owens' job. So yeah, I think that's going to be a triple threat. Again, we mentioned this earlier. We mentioned beforehand, I believe, with New Day, Morrison and Miz, the other tag title match.
Well, that was different there, because that was Iron Grip, but here it's singles. It's makeshift tag teams. There's like a crutch that they rely on.
Yeah, but I understand that and I agree with that. But at the same time, it's the tag champions. It just feels like the tag champions are going to be kept as they are, and there's just placeholder feuds to mull us over until the next big pay-per-view, which is WrestleMania. You can talk about Elimination Chamber or Fastlane or whatever's coming up after this, but that's where if these titles are going to change hands, that's where it's going to be. Then again, I did have Morrison and Miz for SmackDown, but at the same time, the New Day have held the titles for the umpteenth time, whereas these are new champions in Rollins and Murphy. So where there is pretty much the same similar circumstances, there is a slight difference in that these are new champions and there is more we can explore with them. And they deserve to have the chance until Mania to really prove what this stable, this group, this team's all about. So I wouldn't say tough because of the opponents, but if it was a Viking Raiders, maybe I'd have a time, predicting. But it is not the Viking Raiders; it's the Street Profits. So I'm going to go with Rollins and Murphy, the disciples, I guess they're called. I'm going to go with them to retain.
Messiah and his disciples. That would be something. I don't even know what the hell you call that stable. But yeah, looking at this, I don't really have much else to say. I'm going with just Rollins and Murphy on this one. I really don't see the Profits winning the belts here. Our next match is Mansoor versus Dolph Ziggler. On the February 26th edition of The Bump, it was announced that Saudi's own Mansoor from NXT will be facing Dolph Ziggler from SmackDown in a singles match scheduled for Super Showdown. To be honest, I wish they would use Mansoor just a little bit more outside of these Saudi events. Give him some time in NXT and stuff, and it doesn't have to be every week per se, but just a little build up here and there. It would be nice, because I do think the dude is damn talented indeed. And, well, there's not much else I can really say. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, this is really just a thrown together match to appease the Saudi crowd. Of course, Saudi is a super I wouldn't say super casual because they do appreciate the guys like AJ Styles and Randy Orton, who's not really been in the limelight as much. I mean, Mansoor versus Dolph Ziggler. I mean, you look at the cards, you look at these two matches. Who do you think's going to win? I think it's just a match to get the crowd on their side. You know, you may have this open the cards, you may have it be in the middle. You're not going to have a main event, but you may have it be for the crowd if they get a bit tired, because you know WWE like to over egg the pudding sometimes in regards to the times of the pay-per-views. You know, they've had pay-per-views go 7-8 hours.
Yeah, that was... Mania 35 was brutal, man. I didn't go to bed till midnight that night.
I didn't go to bed until like 7 a.m.
That's
like,
when I get up.
Exactly. I'm nocturnal. So maybe it helps me a bit, but
Yeah.
by the time this show's over, if there's nothing enjoyable, they have to scrape the crowd from their chairs. They're going to be melted into the ceiling. They'll be asleep for 2 hours by that point. So you're going to have to give them something to, you know, tide them over, going to make them excited about. And what's more exciting than a homeboy going against one of WWE's longest tenured professionals and probably winning? I mean, we talk about the world. We talk about wanting to watch the world burn. We want to be absolute masochists. And we want to see it from WWE's eyes and Vince McMahon's cynical eyes about how they just want to watch the world burn and how
A senile mind.
Yeah, having Goldberg versus Undertaker shit the bed, and all, you know, all this absolute gold if you are smart, just laughing at WWE's failures, and just to have Ziggler beat Mansoor and have the Saudi crowd just absolutely shit all over what they were trying to build.
I mean, Ziggler's already the most hated already at the moment, storyline-wise, after what he did to poor Otis, and we will never forget and never forgive.
I mean, if I'm being serious here, he's like that uncle who shows up at your baseball game and just talks shit to the rest of the team with a baseball cap and everything. Ziggler is just that quintessential dickhead, but we love him for it anyway. As far as he's going to win the match, I would be absolutely stupid. I would be absolutely insane, outrageously out of my mind if I do not go with Mansoor here, despite the allegations of, you know...
Yeah, what he linked me earlier, but it's all baseless.
Yeah, exactly, and there's proof to back up that it wasn't, harmful or aggressive or anything like that. So I think it's water under the bridge, and even that. So yeah, I mean, why would you book Mansoor in your home country
And
when
not
this
have him win.
Yeah, and exactly when there's no other maybe compared on the main roster or on the roster, from what I can remember. I mean, I don't want to say Mustafa Ali because I'm pretty sure he's not from Saudi Arabia.
Ali, I believe, is actually Pakistani,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was going to say, someone did mention earlier to me in DMs that they mentioned about how Ali's not on a Arabian card, and I'm pretty sure he was not Saudi Arabian. So I'm glad to have that. I'm glad to have my opinion and my thinking backed up by here. But yeah, exactly. How are they going to have Mansoor on the card and what happened? I mean, come on. WWE can be stupid sometimes, but not this stupid. So yeah, Mansoor versus Ziggler. I'm going with Mansoor.
Yeah, I would be shocked, honestly, if Mansoor lost, quite frankly. So I'm going to go with Mansoor as well. And our next match is Humberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza. On the February 24th episode of Raw, Angel Garza faced his own cousin, Humberto Carrillo, in a singles match, which ended up by Garza pinning Carrillo for the win in a controversial fashion. A rematch between the both of them was announced for Super Showdown during the February 26th edition of The Bump. And I don't even really think I have much else to say about this, to be honest. It's just there. It already happened on Raw, and yet we're getting it about 3 days later. Edie, who do you think's gonna win?
Coffee, do you understand the phrase iron sharpens iron?
I don't think I quite get it.
It's basically the notion that, two stellar competitors. If they face off, they usually better themselves by facing off against each other. They learn
Oh,
from their
I see what
moveset.
you mean. I see what you mean
Yeah,
now.
well, that absolutely makes no sense in this situation because in this match situation, I think copper sharpens copper because if we look at these two competitors, we see Angel Garza, a man who just a few weeks ago wasn't a fixture on Raw. He was not a competitor on Raw. And if you look at Humberto Carrillo, a few weeks ago he didn't have a personality. So it
He
feels like they
still
kind of perfect.
doesn't.
Yeah, that's debatable, but I feel like perfect match for each other. I feel like these two kind of need each other, and it is perfect that it does help that they are cousins. So, I mean, they couldn't really have any other match against each other. Putting Garza or Carrillo in a 2-8 gauntlet would be a bit weird. You wouldn't want either of them losing at this point. Yeah, it really is probably the best option to have them face off against each other. I don't think these two can stand to lose any momentum. So if they keep themselves within this own bubble, where if one of them loses, they can still keep going to the other and still have a little fight, and maybe they can carry this onto Elimination Chamber. I mean, I put all my chips on the table earlier, and I said that these two will be part of a fatal 4-way for the United States title, along with Andrade and Rey Mysterio, and I would love that. But that's just hearsay, and I'm not really too sure about if that's going to happen or not. As who's going to win this match? Well, I mean, there's not really much to go off, like you said. They did have that match a war or two ago. I think it was the latest edition of Raw, and guys got the win there. So I don't know. Taking into account Saudi Arabia's semi-strict rules on having women be part of the pay-per-view, I'm really not expecting
Zelina
Zelina
Vega to interfere.
I'm not even expecting her to be there, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm not sure if she has travelled or not, but
Then again, they did have Lana for that last 5-on-5 tag match, the Team Hogan versus Team Flair at 2019's Crown Jewel, and Lana actually was there, but I didn't notice that the first time watching because I wasn't at home watching it because the pay-per-view was going on while I was at school, and Tuesdays and Thursdays were my longer days last semester. This semester, though, I only have one class, and I'll be out by 12:50, home soon as possible, around 1:20 or so I can at least still watch most of the pay-per-view, at least, when I get a chance there, and thankfully not miss more of it there. Continue.
Yeah, so I don't think that... Okay, if she is there, which I don't think she'll be there at all, but if she's there, I don't think she'll be interfering. I think she'll just be a normal manager. And even if she does interfere, I don't think it'll be integral to the match ending. I feel like Saudi Arabia, while they have progressed somewhat with their women's wrestling, I don't think they've progressed to the point where in men-oriented matches they would have women interfere with this sort of gravitas to the ending of the match.
Good point.
And of course, this sounds silly to us now, but and then again, it's Saudi Arabia we're talking about. They, as much as we like to think that this is progressive country, as WWE like to shove down our throat, I feel like this still a bit of a backwards philosophy that they are upholding. Keeping that out of mind for a second, even if Zelina Vega was confirmed to be there, confirmed to interfere, I still don't think it's going to be Garza going to take the win. I mean, Garza did establish himself with the win of the Carrillo, and he did beat Rusev next week. So it's not like he's absolutely, not like one of the top guys. He's not a jobber, but at the same time, he hasn't beaten anybody of serious credibility. So I think 50-50 booking is going to rear its ugly head again. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But in the grand scheme of things, if I think that Fatal 4 idea that I have in my head is true, maybe this works out. But I'm going to pick Humberto to beat Garza.
Boy, I don't think JD would be running that same way if we're being honest, but I don't know, really. Again, there's that ugly thing again with 50-50 booking. When you want it, you don't get it, and when you get it, you don't want it. So who the hell do I even choose? It's just a toss of the coin at this point, but... Oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna go with Angel Garza. They have... Oof. Do not see Humberto getting a whole lot of other moments. Like, he's also kind of stalled. Like, you just plug him up out of nowhere, and, oh, expect him to automatically be over because of the flippy stuff. That's not how that works, Vince. That's not how any of that works, so I'm going with Garza. Well, look at that. We end with a filler match. Well, it's our pre-show match. Our one lonely pre-show match. It is War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, versus the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, in a plain old tag team match. I don't have anything for this sort of thing. Well, whatever. Also on the February 26th edition of The Bump, it was announced that the Raiders would be facing the OC in a tag team match scheduled for the Super Showdown preview. I feel like I have even less to say about this here than I do the other match. It's probably just another warm-up, but honestly, I am... I don't even know. I wish it were these teams actually having a decent feud over the belts, you know, but I guess that would be too much to ask for, much like giving the Raiders their old name back, but... Oh, whatever. I still am me, you know. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, I'd like to bring up a bit of WWE history right now. Last year, the OC won the Best Tag Team in the World trophy to become the best tag team in the world.
I remember that.
Which, as you know, has absolutely no implication and means fuck all.
Exactly.
So, I'm still unbiased on this because I would, if that actually had any leverage, I'd be going with the OC. But they didn't really capitalize on it. They just had him back with AJ, and that's the only reason the OC are actually in this spot right now. Because if it wasn't, guaranteed it wouldn't even be on the card. But as far as who's going to win this match, I mean, the Viking Majors, they're on a main event now. They're involved with Mojo and Owens and Messiah.
The battle against the Disciple Messiah, yeah.
They're the resistance, aren't they? So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really have a lot more to say, and that's good because I really need to piss right now. But then again, this will be the piss break for the card for me. So,
what's the pre-show, practically?
Well, hopefully I won't be drinking much when the major happens. So I'm going to go with the OC.
Yeah, and in my case, I'm already going to be in school at this point when this match is going on at this point. The pay-per-view is kicking off at about 11 my time, Central Standard Time, 12 Eastern. So for me, I will probably not even really give too much. I'll just have it on in the background while I'm just finishing up some work, But, yeah, looking at this match, I don't even know. Just go with the Raiders on this one. And, that's a wrap, folks. Boy, this went on a little longer than anticipated. And given how when we finish this, I don't have much time to go edit this whole thing and put it all back together. Or maybe I'll find a way somehow. I don't know. Life always finds a way. If you could find a way for me to shake this cough, that would be great. Anyway, that's all for Super Showdown. And I do want to thank Heathy for being here with me as usual. Say bye, Heathy.
Thanks for having me. Also, one more thing. I didn't mean to see. I meant to see the Viking.
Oh, you meant to say the Viking Raiders?
Yeah.
War Raiders.
Yeah.
That's alright, man. Well, you changed it now here, but I don't think it matters for that match anyways. What can we do, folks? Filler's gotta exist somewhere. Anyways, we'll see you next time for AW Revolution. You gotta say it like that, World Wrestling All-Stars opening. You know, I bet some of you are too young to probably even remember that. And technically, we should be too young to remember as well, but God bless Brian Zane of Wrestling with Regret for even letting me know that something like that existed. So, until next time, bye for now.